It was a normal occurrence at this restaurant to see people drop chicken wings or whatever other food they were making and put it right back on the plate. I mean, shit, sometimes they wouldn't put it back on the plate, but they'd still fucking eat it. Hey, it's Ro, and I'm back talking about another shitty experience I had working at a restaurant. And I want you guys to tell me in the comments whether or not this one is worse or better than my Chipotle experience, because I honestly think that both are up there with one of the worst experiences you can possibly have. If you didn't watch my Chipotle story, then I highly recommend you go watch that either before or after, because I really want you to understand what I've had to go through. So this story takes place when I'm around 16, so a little bit before I got the Chipotle job, and once again, it was me and my friend trying to find one where we can work together. I'm actually starting to see a trend between these stories. I mean, everywhere that me and him go together to work, it ends up being the worst fucking experience of my life, so maybe we should just start going our separate ways. Either way, I think it's about time I actually named the restaurant that we both worked at, and the name is Quaker Steak and Lube. It's a pretty, I don't know if it's anywhere else other than my state. I honestly couldn't tell you, but their food is pretty decent, but what goes on in the inside is actually disgusting. The funny thing about this job is that I've never actually eaten there or gone in before I got hired, so I had no clue what to expect. To be honest, whenever I passed it, I never actually knew what it was, and I kind of just concluded that it was either a sex shop or a car repairment store. I mean, the front of the store had a big ass picture of a car, and in the name it has the word lube, so what do you want me to think? Anyways, I walk in, and, naturally I hear the noise of everyone talking. And you'd expect to walk in a restaurant and it smell like, some good tasting food, but nah, that's not the case. Unless you think the smell of two cigarette butts stuck up your nose is a good smell, then I think you understand how I felt. The smell of cigarettes in the air was actually disgusting, and I found out where that was coming from when I looked to my right and I see some big ass motherfuckers, and I honest to God thought I was in the salty splatoons for a second. It turns out that this place is a nice spot for all the bikers to me, and if I knew that from the beginning, I would have never even tried to get hired here. Alright, I'm kind of getting off track. Before I get on with the story though, I want to mention that my hourly pay here was $7.25, just so you can feel that much fucking worse for me. So my first position at this restaurant made me in charge of food prep, and that basically meant that I just put all the food together on the plate so it could be served out to all the customers. It wasn't soon after that I actually began to do both fucking jobs because no one could do their job correctly. And on top of this, each time I went to go bring out food to each table, I had to go past those salty Splatoon motherfuckers and they'd never move out of the way. I'd be standing there waiting for them to move with a big ass tray the size of my body. They'd be messing around, pushing me, trying to make me drop all the glasses and shit. They're all fucking laughing. I'm over here trying to balance the tray, sweating bullets. My hands are shaky and shit. I think you get the point. This was outside the kitchen, but the inside wasn't any better. The inside of that kitchen was a place of imaginations, and I don't mean that in any good way. I mean to say that everything that happens in the kitchen is stuff that only happens in bad stories. It was a normal occurrence at this restaurant to see people drop chicken wings or whatever other food they were making and put it right back on the plate. I mean, shit, sometimes they wouldn't put it back on the plate, but they'd still fucking eat it. But let me tell you something that's even more disgusting. First, I need to give you some backstory on the restaurant itself. It actually prides itself on how good its wings are, and they actually claim that it's #1 in the United States. I think that's pretty ironic when you know the things that I know about the wings. One of those facts being that I saw someone cut open a wing to check if they were done, and one was raw, and they still sent them out. Or how about the other time when they tossed the wings in the wrong sauce, so the manager told them to just rinse it under the tap water? Or how about the other time that the cook started fucking the bag of chicken wings? I'm joking, that's a joke. At least I think. Off the topic of wings, but let's talk about their food in general. I think there was a secret motto that I never heard of when I worked there, and that's that the customer's food is our food. I mean, the amount of times I saw people eat off the plates we were about to send out is actually insane. The funny thing is, I actually recommended that my family come there to eat one day, and that's kind of disrespectful of me. What's more disrespectful is the fact I was getting paid $7.25, but that's besides the point. At one point, I just became tired of doing and looking at all this bullshit, so I wanted to become a dishwasher. And can I get a round of applause for my pay raise as I went from $7.25 to $7.50? Thank you very much. Yeah, if only. They did in fact say that I would get that pay raise, but I never actually did. I mean, who even knows why they pay dishwashers 25 cents more? Oh wait, actually I do know. Maybe it's because the thing that we use to rinse the dishes is at like 9,000 psi, and if you put your hand in front of it, I wouldn't be surprised if it got chopped off. Not only that, but the water temperature was around 753,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure if they thought the hotter they made the water, the more germs it would kill, because I know if I touched it, it would have killed me as well. Anyways, when they made you do the dishes, they would make you wear these rubber gloves, which is not really a problem in its own. But I thought it would just be funny to mention that after every 10 minutes, if you look down at your gloves, they look like fucking inflatable hands. I think it's about time, though, that I talk about one of the biggest obstacles when it comes to washing dishes. It's a little thing that I like to call Satan's toilet. Basically, on certain days, we would serve these big ass buckets of wings and they'd sauce them bitches up like no other. Now, when you got these at the washing station, you can only imagine what they look like. You'd have a giant bucket filled with one of the hottest fucking sauces in the entire world called like devil's piss or some shit. You're spraying it down with this fire hose and like the sauce sprays in your eyes and fucking blinds you. Because the water is so hot, the hot sauce would like oxidize and go in your fucking nostrils and kill you from the inside out. The steam from the bucket would get in your eyes and it feels like you're getting pepper sprayed and shit. This happened more than you can imagine, and I remember the one time that I actually couldn't see for about 10 minutes straight. I can't even lie though, the dishwashing station was a lot better than food running because I didn't have to deal with those salty Splatoon motherfuckers. Also, if you thought me getting paid $7.25 was bad, wait until you hear this. There was this one time when me and my friend got a text message from the manager asking if we wanted to do him a little favor. After I saw the fact that he asked us for a favor, I kinda just assumed two things. One is that he's been to prison, or the second thing is that he just genuinely needs our help. Either way, we ended up going, and on the way we were thinking about all the possible things that we could do. We were thinking what they could possibly need us for that wasn't our normal job because we couldn't think of anything that would be of any help. Maybe they need someone to take out the trash, but someone who's there could already do that. Same thing with cleaning, so what could they possibly need us for? So we finally get there, we walk in, and the manager walks up to us and tells us what we're going to be doing. And when I tell you that after I heard what we were supposed to be doing from the manager, I actually checked my phone to see if it was April Fool's, and I'm not even joking. He tells us two things. 1. You are going to pick up rocks and put them in the back of that truck. 2. You are going to get all that grass from the side of the road and put it back on our grass. And a little bonus from me. 3. Go fuck yourselves. Or at least that's what it sounded like. So we did end up doing both of those jobs, and it took us around 3 hours. We found out afterwards that they already hired someone to do it and that they said they needed more help. Pretty smart of them because we didn't just help, but we did the whole fucking thing. We saw him afterwards laying happy as hell in the back of his truck eating a donut or some shit. We ended up hearing that he got paid around $200 for that, and you wanna know how much we got paid? Nothing. Actually, that's not entirely true. We got a lame-ass basket of 12 bone-in wings. Had to fucking share it. The dumbass guy they hired tries to come over and snag one. We were pretty fucking upset, as you can guess. So that was my overall experience at this restaurant, and a little bit of what restaurants don't want you to know. And a little bit after I quit, they actually ended up shutting down, which I'm not surprised at all. There was a whole lot of other crazy shit that happened, and if you want to hear one story of my coworker that used to work there, I'll have his channel linked in the description. Man, I can't wait to hear from all the people that I know that have eaten there. So that's the whole story. Thank you guys for listening. I hope to hear whether or not you guys think this job or Chipotle was worse. Please let me know. Thank you for listening, and adios.